Two poetic anthologies from the Tamil Sangam literature corpus, Akananuru and Purananuru, allude to the Nanda rule in Maurya Empire. For example, poems 69, 281 and 375 mention the army and chariots of the Mauryas, while poems 251 and 265 may be alluding to the Nandas. However, the poems dated between 1st century BCE to 5th century CE do not mention Chandragupta Maurya by name, and some of them could be referring to a different Maurya dynasty in the Deccan region in the 5th century CE. According to Upinder Singh, these poems may be mentioning Mokur and Koshar kingdoms of Vedugas, northerners, in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, with one interpretation being that the Maurya Empire had an alliance with these at some point of time. Names and titles. Greek writer Philorchus, c. 3rd century BCE, who is quoted by Athenaeus, calls Chandragupta Sandrakoptos. The later Greco-Roman writers Strabo, Arrian, and Justin, c. 2nd century, call him Sandrokotis. In Greek and Latin accounts, Chandragupta is known as Sandrakotos and Androkotis. The king's epithets mentioned in the Sanskrit play Mudra Rakshasa include Chandasiri, Chandrashri, Priyadamsana, Priyadarshana, and Vrishala. Priyadamsana is similar to Priyadasi, an epithet of his grandson Ashoka. The word Vrishala is used in Indian epics and law books to refer to non-orthodox people. According to one theory, it may be derived from the Greek royal title Basileus, but there is no concrete evidence of this. The Indian sources apply it to several non-royals, especially wandering teachers and ascetics. Empire. There are no records of Chandragupta's military conquests and the reach of his empire. It is based on inferences from Greek and Roman historians and the religious Indian texts written centuries after his death. Based on these, the northwest reach of his empire included parts of present-day Afghanistan that Seleucus I Nicator ceded to him, including Kabul, Kandahar, Taxila and Gandhara. These are the areas where his grandson Ashoka left the major Kandahar Rock Edict and other edicts in the Greek and Aramaic languages. In the west, Chandragupta's rule over present-day Gujarat is attested to by Ashoka's inscription in Junagadh. On the same rock, about 400 years later, Rudradaman inscribed a longer text sometime about the mid-2nd century. Rudradaman's inscription states that the Sudarshana lake in the area was commissioned during the rule of Chandragupta through his governor Vashya Pushyagupta, and conduits were added during Ashoka's rule through Toshasva. The Mauryan control of the region is further corroborated by the inscription on the rock, which suggests that Chandragupta controlled the Malwa region in central India, located between Gujarat and Pataliputra. There is uncertainty about the other conquests that Chandragupta may have achieved, especially in the Deccan region of southern India, at the time of his grandson Ashoka's ascension in c. 268 BCE. The empire extended up to present-day Karnataka in the south, so the southern conquests may be attributed to either Chandragupta or his son Bindusara. If the Jain tradition about Chandragupta ending his life as a renunciate in Karnataka is considered correct, it appears that Chandragupta initiated the southern conquest. Maurya with his counselor Chanakya together built one of the largest empire ever on the Indian subcontinent. Chandragupta's empire extended from Bengal to central Afghanistan, encompassing most of the Indian subcontinent except for parts that are now Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Orissa. Reign. After unifying much of India, Chandragupta and Chanakya passed a series of major economic and political reforms. Chandragupta established a strong central administration from Pataliputra, now Patna. Chandragupta applied the statecraft and economic policies described in Chanakya's text Arthashastra. There are varying accounts in the historic, legendary, and hagiographic literature of various Indian religions about Chandragupta's rule, but Alchin and Erdosy are suspect. They state, one cannot but be struck by the many close correspondences between the Hindu Arthashastra and the two other major sources, the Buddhist Asokan inscriptions and Greek Megasthenes text. The Maurya rule was a structured administration. Chandragupta had a council of ministers, Amartya, with Chanakya was his chief minister. The empire was organized into territories. Janapada, centers of regional power, were protected with forts, Durga, and state operations were funded with treasury, Kosa. Strabo, in his Geographica Compos about 300 years after Chandragupta's death, describes aspects of his rule in his chapter 15.46-69. He had counselors for matters of justice and assessors to collect taxes on commercial activity and trade goods. He routinely performed Vedic sacrifices, Brahmanical rituals, and hosted major festivals marked by procession of elephants and horses. His officers inspected situations requiring law and order in the cities. The crime rate was low. According to Megasthenes, Chandragupta's rule was marked by three parallel administrative structures. One managed the affairs of villages, ensuring irrigation, recording land ownership, monitoring tools supply, enforcing hunting, wood products and forest-related laws, and settling disputes. Another administrative structure managed city affairs, including all matters related to trade, merchant activity, visitor foreigners, harbors, roads, temples, markets, and industries. They also collected taxes and ensured standardized weights and measures. The third administrative body overlooked the military, its training, its weapons supply, and the needs of the soldiers. Chanakya was concerned about Chandragupta's safety and developed elaborate techniques to prevent assassination attempts. Various sources report Chandragupta frequently changed bedrooms to confuse conspirators. He left his palace only for certain tasks, to go on military expeditions, to visit his court for dispensing justice, to offer sacrifices, for celebrations, and for hunting. During celebrations, he was well guarded, and on hunts, he was surrounded by female guards who were presumed to be less likely to participate in a coup conspiracy. These strategies may have resulted from the historical context of the Nanda emperor who had come to power by assassinating the previous emperor. During Chandragupta's reign and that of his dynasty, many religions thrived in India, with Buddhism, Jainism and Ajivika gaining prominence along with other folk traditions. Infrastructure projects. The empire built a strong economy from a solid infrastructure such as irrigation, temples, mines, and roads. Ancient epigraphical evidence suggests Chandragupta, under counsel from Chanakya, started and completed many irrigation reservoirs and networks across the Indian subcontinent to ensure food supplies for the civilian population and the army, a practice continued by his dynastic successors. Regional prosperity in agriculture was one of the required duties of his state officials. The strongest evidence of infrastructure development is found in the Junagadh rock inscription of Rudradaman in Gujarat, dated to about 150 CE. It states, among other things, that Rudradaman repaired and enlarged the reservoir and irrigation conduit infrastructure built by Chandragupta and enhanced by Asoka. Chandragupta's empire also built mines, manufacturing centers, and networks for trading goods. His rule developed land routes to transport goods across the Indian subcontinent. Chandragupta expanded routes suitable for carts, as he preferred those over narrow tracks suitable for only pack animals. According to Kaushik Roy, the Maurya dynasty rulers were great road builders. The Greek ambassador Megasthenes credited this tradition to Chandragupta after the completion of a 1,000-mile-long highway connecting Chandragupta's capital Pataliputra in Bihar to Taxila in the northwest where he studied. The other major strategic road infrastructure credited to this tradition spread from Pataliputra in various directions, connecting it with Nepal, Kapilavastu, Dehradun, Mirzapur, Orissa, Andhra, and Karnataka. Roy stated this network boosted trade and commerce, and helped move armies rapidly and efficiently. Chandragupta and Chanakya seeded weapon manufacturing centers, and kept them as a state monopoly of the state. The state, however, encouraged competing private parties to operate mines and supply these centers. They considered economic prosperity essential to the pursuit of dharma, virtuous life, and adopted a policy of avoiding war with diplomacy yet continuously preparing the army for war to defend its interests and other ideas in the Arthashastra.